And it's a pleasant Sunday afternoon to one and all. We welcome you to Ray Cipperly Field in East Brunswick, New Jersey at East Brunswick Vocational and Technical Institute. The GMC Baseball Tournament Championship is on the King James Radio Network. Number 1 Old Bridge against number 3 South Brunswick. We are just about set to go. South Brunswick in their gold jerseys with the black letters and numbers, white pants, black stripes. They will be up first. Old Bridge in the home white as the higher seed in the purple writing with the white pants. And so Nick De La Cruz will step into the batter's box here for South Brunswick. And Chad Baker will make his first pitch, and it's a fastball at the knees for a called strike. 0-1. Check that, Matt Baker makes his first pitch. De La Cruz, a right-handed batter, your next pitch. That one is at the knees for a called strike from home plate umpire Craig Yetman. No balls and 2 strikes. Nick De La Cruz is a senior. No homers, 14 runs driven in on the season. He grounds the next one foul to the left side. So the count's still 0-2 on De La Cruz. Of course, De La Cruz, the leadoff man for South Brunswick. We'll get you the South Brunswick lineup as Craig Yetman will issue a new baseball here. Our game time temperature is presented by the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny skies here at Ray Cipperly Field, 84 degrees. Your next pitch, swing and a grounder, back to Baker. He snares it and throws to first to get De La Cruz for the first out of the game.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the left fielder, number 7, Matt Laurie.
That will bring up Matt Laurie. Laurie also a right-handed batter. Laurie is also a senior. He's got 8 RBIs on the season, hitting at .391. I'm sorry, left-handed batter is Laurie. And so 2, a little bit different roads to get here, particularly in the semifinals for both of these teams. As Baker with his pitch, curve drops in for a called strike, 0-1. I'm over a little bit to the third base side here at Ray Cipperly Field. My thanks to Mike Petey for squeezing me in here. No balls and a strike. And your next pitch, fastball grounded foul, hitting Laurie in the batter's box, and the count is at no balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if we can get you the starting lineup here for South Brunswick. Nick De La Cruz is the shortstop leading off. Matt Laurie in left, batting second. Mike Reyes is the right fielder, hitting third. Mike Slover is your catcher, batting fourth. Kyle White, the DH, he's batting fifth for the pitcher, Justin Cross. Your next pitch, missing inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Matt Laurie. Matt Storch is the third baseman for South Brunswick, hitting 6th. Kyle Groover in center, batting 7th. Jordan Glassman is the first baseman, batting 8th. And Mike D'Amato at second, batting 9th. As Baker's pitch, grounded foul behind the plate. Still 1-2 on Matt Laurie. Defensive alignment for Old Bridge here. Matt Herbstman is the first baseman. Danny Chiafalo is at second base. Over at shortstop, John Cardillan. And your next pitch from Baker, this one is a grounder going over towards the first base side, and a slow roller, and safe. Well, what had happened was Matt Herbstman, he, wasn't really aggressive on that grounder. He played the hop instead of the, or he tried to play, didn't play the hop. The hop more played him. And by the time he picked it up, he tried to make a glove tag to the first base bag. He tried to slap the bag with the glove. But Laurie beats it out for an infield hit. So that will bring up Mike Reyes. Throw over to first just to check in on Laurie. But Mike Reyes is a senior. A lot of seniors for South Brunswick. No homers, 13 runs driven in. Reyes hitting at .348. Pitch from Baker is in the dirt. Good block. And it's ball 1. Good block by... I should mention, let me get to the rest of the defense here. Throw over to first, and getting back is Laurie. Yeah, Andrew DeSegli is behind the plate for Old Bridge as fastball at the knees for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now is the count on Mike Reyes. Get another left-handed batter. Usually 4 in a row in the lineup for South Brunswick as Reyes slices this one foul off to the left. So C.J. Hendricks, head coach of South Brunswick, will just line up one left-handed hitter after the other. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But finishing the alignment for Old Bridge, I'll pick up where I left off. John Cardilli is the shortstop. Michael Leva at third. Matt Flores is in left. Over in center is Elliot Hayward. Sonny Fauci is in right. As next one actually throw over to first. And diving back is Laurie. And again, Andrew DeSegli is behind the plate. So at the set here, runner goes and pitches outside. Throw down to second by DeSegli on a hop. Not in time. Laurie steals second. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mike Reyes. So we'll see what Baker can do here, as he'll come to the set with a runner at second. Looks back at second. And now the 2-2. Breaking ball sliced down the left field line, tailing, and it is a foul ball. So it will stay at 2-2 on Mike Reyes. Glad you're with us, of course, at jamesisking.com. Also on Facebook, you'll see us under King James Radio Network, and on Twitter at King James Radio 1. Getting live at Ray Cipperly Field. And so we come to two. What we got? We got 2 balls and 2 strikes. Turn, no throw to second. Diving back is Laurie. Old Bridge looking for their first championship since 2011. South Brunswick since 2010. And your next pitch. Breaking ball, grounded foul. So quite a few foul balls here from the first 3 hitters for South Brunswick. Wasting away pitches here from Baker. So it's still 2-2. Maybe once we get established here, we'll set the field dimensions for you here at Ray Cipperly Field. Your next pitch, swinging a line drive going into right field, and that's going to be a base hit. Laurie stops at third. C.J. Hendricks puts up the stop sign. And so Reyes with the single. Runners at first and third for the Vikings with 1 out. And that will bring up the catcher, Mike Slover.
14, Mike Slover.
Slover behind the plate for the Vikings. Slover is a senior. Has 17 hits on the season. No homers, 11 runs driven in, batting at .321. And yes, another left-hand batter for South Brunswick. Again, I mentioned 4 in a row in the lineup. So Baker turns and throws. Nope, no throw to first. And they're going to call a balk. They're going to call a balk. The third base umpire is Paul Kildorf, and he calls a balk because Baker turned to first without throwing. And thus, Matt Laurie scores, and South Brunswick takes a 1-0 lead. So still a runner on first, and Slover at bat. Baker's pitch. That's a high strike at the belt. 0-1. So South Brunswick off to the early start. With the count at 0-1. Your next pitch. Swinging a grounder foul behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. South Brunswick defeated Piscataway 10-2 in the GMC semifinals on Wednesday. A little bit of a different story for Old Bridge. They had to grind out an extra inning win 2-1 over St. Joe's. And Baker's pitch, swing, and this is hit in the air, foul, left side, out of play. So count remains at no balls and 2 strikes on Mike Slover. Slight breeze but nothing that's going to carry the baseball out or anything. Baker's pitch. It hit him. Hit him in that front leg. And Slover will head down the first. And so Baker is running into some early trouble here in the first inning. Time is called as DeSegli will go out and talk to Baker here. We're going to get a runner.
For South Brunswick, number 18, Mike Nally.
Mike Nally is the courtesy runner for Slover, the catcher.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the designated hitter, number 22, Kyle White.
And as you heard, that'll bring up Kyle White, the designated hitter. And first conference at the mound visit for Old Bridge. Meanwhile, Kyle White, hitting at .227 on the season with 5 runs batted in. So South Brunswick with a chance here to make a little noise here in the top of the first inning. And we'll see if Baker can get himself out of it. You know, I talked about in my preview last night that's online. You can get it on our YouTube channel through the King James Radio Network website at the homepage. But, you know, when I looked at the pitching matchups, I thought maybe I knew Sonny Fauci was ineligible, so I knew that. But I thought maybe they'd go with the sophomore Jason Gilman just because of how well he's pitched this year. But going with the more experienced guy in Baker. And his pitch. That's at the knees for a called strike. 0-1 on Kyle White. Now this is a South Brunswick team that can certainly hit. We saw that against Piscataway in the semis. Your next pitch. That drops in the inside corner for strike 2. Baker doesn't throw hard, comes at you with that sidearm delivery. No balls and 2 strikes on Kyle White. 2 out here in the first. And Baker with his pitch. Swing and a miss. Low fastball for strike 3. And that is the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Matt Baker.
Baseman number 6, Matt Storch.
And here's a guy that I have had my eye on since the last time I saw South Brunswick, Matt Storch. Storch hitting at .290 on the year with 8 RBIs. Baker's pitch. Swinging a grounder back to Baker. He's got it. He'll go ahead and jog and underhand it to first. Side retired. Well, South Brunswick does get an early run courtesy of a balk. So they score 1 run on 2 hits. There are no errors and 2 left. Middle of the first. South Brunswick 1, Old Bridge coming to bat. So we'll take a break. We'll come back in a moment with the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network.
This week at Restoration Place, Trust Him in Everything by First Lady Darlene Bazemore.
We have to be, when we have difficult circumstances and situations that face us in our lives, we have to trust Him with our last. We have to trust Him with everything.
Be restored at Restoration Place every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and on demand anytime on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
Listen to the King James Radio Network by downloading the Spreaker app to your phone or tablet. Spreaker is spelled Spreaker. You can find it in the App Store on your iPhone or on Google Play for Android users.
Bottom of the first inning here at Ray Cipperly Field between Old Bridge and South Brunswick for the GMC Championship. And so, for South Brunswick, your pitcher is Justin Cross. Cross is a senior. He's 4-1 with a 1.71. You know what? Actually, let me look at the official numbers here. I have them here. He's 4-1 with a 1.49 ERA. 37 2/3 innings pitched, 32 hits. He's walked 8 and struck out 33.
Number 11, Justin Cross.
So he will pitch to Elliot Hayward at the top of the order.
Number 24, Elliot Hayward.
And we'll get you the South Brunswick lineup here momentarily. But Hayward, a left-handed batter for Old Bridge. Hayward hitting at .333 on the season. And your pitch from Cross misses the inside corner for ball one. But yeah, Hayward hitting at .333 with 2 RBIs. And again, left-handed batter. Cross's pitch. This is low in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes on Hayward. We'll get you the defensive alignment here in a moment for South Brunswick. And your next pitch, swing and a miss. Count it 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Cross goes into the wind, and his next pitch, that one missing low. 3-1 on Hayward. So Cross with ball and glove, now with his kick, 3-1 pitch. And that's at the belt for a call strike. Hayward was ready to trot down the first. But Craig Yetman says it's a strike, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And so now into the wind is Cross, 3-2. And just missed inside, ball 4. Leadoff walk to Hayward.
Now batting for Old Bridge.
Cross wanting to know exactly where that pitch was.
Danny Chiafalo.
That'll bring up second baseman Danny Chiafalo. Chiafalo also a left-handed batter. He is a senior hitting at .377 on the year with 14 RBIs. Left-handed batter. First, nope, throw over to first. Getting back is Hayward. Let's see if they have Hayward stolen bases in here. I'm sure they probably do somewhere. I'll find it in a second. Especially without my glasses. There's a swing and a foul straight back. No balls and a strike. Actually, I do not see stolen bases for Hayward. Throw over to first, Hayward diving back. So let me see if I can find it here. 12 stolen bases for Hayward. So at the set is Cross. Here and doesn't go. Pitch a Swan and grounded left side in the hole. Base hit. De La Cruz went over to cover second base, which left that hole vacated. And going the other way, Chiafalo knocks it right through.
Now batting for Old Bridge, the right fielder, number 13, Sonny Fauci.
Runners at first and second for the Knights. And that will bring up Sonny Fauci. Fauci, of course, the number 1 pitcher for Old Bridge. But a right-handed batter in this situation is a senior. Cross at the set, looks at second, time is called. Fauci hitting at an even .300 with no homers and 9 runs driven in. As a matter of fact, there is not a home run on the entire Old Bridge roster. As turned to second, no throw. But yeah, I'll bring you the Old Bridge lineup here in just a moment. Here's your pitch. Fastball missing high to Fauci, ball 1. Yeah, Elliot Hayward is the center fielder leading off for Old Bridge. Danny Chiafalo at second, batting second. Sonny Fauci currently at the plate. He's in right, batting third. Matt Herbstman is the first baseman in the cleanup spot. Mike Oliva at third, hitting fifth. Matt Flores in left, hitting sixth. Your next pitch, hit in the air down the right field line, tailing foul. And it's a ball and a strike on Fauci. Jason Gilman is the DH, batting seventh. Andrew DeSegli is the catcher, hitting eighth. And John Cardilli is the shortstop, batting ninth for Old Bridge. So we'll get you the defensive alignment for the Vikings here in a moment. Meanwhile, ball and a strike on Fauci. At the set is Cross. A lot of infielders moving around for South Brunswick. Time called. So a ball and a strike. And at the set is Cross. And He's ready with his 1-1. Fastball low. Maybe a changeup there. 2 balls and a strike. So game moving at a deliberate pace here with 2 runners on. Cross looks back at second. Time is called. Fauci steps out. Now, there was a game that I did at North Brunswick with Old Bridge last year. Fauci must have stepped out like 10 times during his at-bat. It got to the point where North Brunswick was getting annoyed. Your next pitch. Fastball missing high. 3 balls and a strike. But you know what? It works for Fauci. That's why he does it. Because it works. 3 balls and a strike. At the set is Cross. 3-1. Slice foul off to the right. Count now at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if the runners go here. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. So Baker will be at the set. Cross rather. Turn and no throw. Cross trying to keep Hayward close at second. First and second for Old Bridge. Nobody out, bottom of the first. Cross at the set. Runners do go. The pitch is low. Ball 4. That loads the bases. And so Hayward to third. Chiafalo to second. Fauci to first. 2 walks in the inning for Cross. The bases are loaded. And Matt Herbstman will come to the plate. Conference on the mound here for South Brunswick. We'll get you the defensive alignment then. Over at first base is Jordan Glassman. Mike D'Amato is the second baseman. Nick De La Cruz is the shortstop. Matt Storch is at third. Over in left field is Matt Laurie. In center, Kyle Groover. In right is Mike Reyes. Behind the plate is Mike Slover. And Justin Cross on the mound. So, Old Bridge in business here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
First baseman number 16, Matt Herbstman.
Matt Herbstman, who was a big part of the semifinal win for Old Bridge against St. Joe's. Herbstman is a left-handed batter. And Cross with his pitch. It misses low, ball 1. Herbstman is a senior, hitting at .246 with 11 runs batted in. And so, big situation here for Cross. And his next pitch. Fastball at the belt for a called strike. And count now at 1-1. No pun intended, but this will be Justin's cross to bear. Bases loaded with nobody out. And your next pitch. Swing and a grounder foul left side off of the third base dugout, which is where South Brunswick resides. 1-2 on Herbstman. It was Herbstman that laid down the bunt in the 8th inning of the semifinal game for Old Bridge against St. Joe's. Herbstman laid down the bunt. There was runners at first and second at the time. And St. Joe's catcher Tom Fagioni, I was watching Greg Tafaro's video, and Fagioni was instructing freshman pitcher Donovan Zach to go to first base with it. Zach went to third, and the ball sailed, and the winning run scored. Pitch is swung on, grounded over to first, backhanded by the first baseman, but throw to the plate, out at the plate. Jordan Glassman backhanded it, got it to Slover at the plate, and they get Hayward on a force out. And so head coach Matt Donahue's going to argue it. He's going to ask for help. And so now Craig Kilduff will go and talk it over with Pat Dominicus, the first base umpire. So again, backhand stop by Glassman. It is an out. So Hayward forced out at the plate. So
now batting,
scored 3-2.
Number 6, Mike Oliva.
Scored 3-2 on the force out. Herbstman reaches on a fielder's choice. So Chiafalo at third, Fauci down to second, Herbstman at first, Mike Oliva at the plate. Oliva, a right-handed batter. He's a senior with 8 RBIs on the year, batting at .270. And your pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. So we've already had some interesting scenarios here in the first inning alone. We had a balk in the top of the first, and then a force out at the plate here in the bottom half. Time is called as the pitch softly thrown by Cross. So 1-0 South Brunswick, bottom of the first. And Cross with his pitch. Fastball hit on the ground. Foul ball. First baseline. Glassman made the dive for it at the bag, but it went foul. So it's a ball and a strike on Mike Oliva. Oliva also, of course, a member of the Old Bridge boys basketball team. Bases loaded for the Knights. Here with 1 out. Cross at the set. And his next pitch. Fastball chopped over the mound, off the glove of Cross. Picked up by Dela Cruz. Steps on second for 1. Throws to first. Not in time, or gets off the bag. Glassman was pulled off the bag. Run scores. And we are tied at 1. And now C.J. Hendricks is going to ask Craig Kilduff to get some help. He's going to point over to the base umpire, Dominicus, and they'll talk it over. So, as of right now, give Oliva a fielder's choice and an RBI. The call is safe on the play at first base. So Chiafalo scores.
The left fielder, number 9, Matt Flores.
Chiafalo scores. Fauci to third. Herbstman is forced out at second by Dela Cruz. And Matt Flores will come to the plate for the Knights as the 6th hitter of the inning. Flores is a right-handed batter. He's a senior with 7 RBIs on the year, hitting at .281. Throw over to first, and diving back is Oliva. So now at the set is Cross. And his pitch, swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 1. No balls and a strike. So the count at 0-1. Again, slight breeze. Runners at first, return to third, and now throw to first. Now, if I'm correct, I think you have to throw it there. Otherwise, that's a balk if I'm correct. Because that move has been outlawed, the trick play. So you have to throw it to a base. 0-1 on Flores. Cross with his next pitch. Missing low. 1 ball and a strike. And, you know, on both sides, you've seen some throws over the bases, which has slowed the pace of the game down a little bit. And it looks like we might have some warm-up action for Old Bridge. Maybe. Next pitch. Swing and a pop-up.
At the end of 1 full inning play, South Brunswick.
And so, with that, for Old Bridge, 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 left. End of 1. Old Bridge and South Brunswick. Old Bridge trying to get themselves set in the field. But, excuse me. South Brunswick will come up here.
Leading off the top of the second inning for South Brunswick, the center fielder, number 13, Kyle Groover.
Kyle Groover will come up. It will be 7, 8, and 9 for the Vikings here. Groover pitch take. Does Matt Baker for ball 1. Groover is a junior who has 1 RBI on the season. Hitting at .212. Your next pitch. Fastball, borderline strike at the knees, 1-1. So 1 ball and a strike. And so into the line is Baker. His next pitch, swing and a miss. That one a little bit higher. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the count at 1-2. And Baker's next pitch, swing and a miss, lunged at that one for strike 3. It's in the dirt, and DeSegli will throw it down to first to complete the strikeout. So strikeout 2 to 3, 1 out, nobody on.
Number 25, Jordan Glassman.
And that will bring up first baseman Jordan Glassman. Glassman, a right-handed batter. He is a senior, with hitting at .281 with 9 RBIs. And your first pitch from Baker, threw it by him, swung on and missed. 0-1. Mike D'Amato is the number 9 hitter in the South Brunswick lineup. He's on deck. And Baker's next pitch, kind of overthrew that one in the dirt. 1 ball and a strike. So Baker with ball and glove. Into the line with his next pitch. Fastball lined into right field, and that's going to be a base hit. So Glassman with a 1-out single. Hit number 3 for South Brunswick.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the second baseman, number 12, Mike D'Amato.
And that'll bring up Mike D'Amato. D'Amato is a senior, hitting a .296 with a pair of RBIs. The scoreboard is behind the left center field fence here at Ray Cipperly Field. Ray Cipperly was the former athletic director for all the vocational and technical schools here in Middlesex County in the district. And that one just missed high. Again, that sidearm delivery from Baker, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. And your next pitch. Fastball at the knees for a called strike. It's 1-1. Of course, royalty here at the table. The Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler, Greg Tafaro, is sitting to my left, about 2 guys away. See, there's Greg Tafaro and there's everybody else. Bunts and foul to the backstop. Count at 1-2 on D'Amato. So C.J. Hendricks trying to move Glassman over to second base for the top of the order, and Nick De La Cruz on deck. So the count at 1-2 on D'Amato. And your next pitch. Fastball hit on the ground, slow roller, going to the right side. Off the mound, fielding is Baker. He gets it over to first for the out. Moving to second is Glassman, so just as effective as a bunt there. 2 out.
For South Brunswick, the shortstop, number 1, Nick De La Cruz.
2 out in the inning, and top of the order, and Nick De La Cruz, who grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. So De La Cruz, a right-handed batter. And so Matt Baker with his pitch, missing outside, ball 1. So a ball and no strikes. So a runner on second for the Vikings. And next pitch. That one is in there for a called strike. And the count at 1-1. Of course, the sun nice and bright today. The wind has picked up a little bit here. And count at 1-1. Baker at the set. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. Threw it by him. You know, Baker has some deceptive speed there on that. Like I said, he's not a guy that throws hard, but he's beaten a couple of hitters. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's at the set. 1-2. Missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nick De La Cruz. So count it 2-2. And time is called. Maybe the next inning, I'm going to tempt fate and check on what's going on with the Mets as they take on the Marlins. As your next pitch from Baker, swing and a miss, off speed for strike 3, side retired, pull the string on that one.
At the end of 1.5
And Baker has his 3rd strikeout. So for South Brunswick, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. So middle of the 2nd, we're tied at 1. So we'll break, and we'll come back in just a moment with the GMC Baseball Tournament Championship game on the King James Radio Network. We go now to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Bottom of the 2nd, the catcher for Old Bridge. Andrew, check that. Designated hitter number 18, Jason Gilman.
Jason Gilman, the DH, is up. And first pitch from Justin Cross misses low and inside for ball 1. Gilman is a sophomore, left-handed batter. And Cross with his next pitch. Swing, and this one is a grounder over to first, right to Glassman. He's got it. He'll go to the bag for 3 unassisted, 1 out. Going into that at bat,
The catcher, number 19, Andrew DeSigley.
Gilman was hitting at 368 with 11 RBIs. Here is Andrew DeSigley. He is a senior catcher, hitting at 171 with 4 RBIs on the year. Right-handed batter. Cross with his pitch. And a short looper bounces to second, backhanded at second base by the second baseman, Mike D'Amato. Throw to first, 2 out. Almost took a bad hop on D'Amato.
Shortstop, number 7, John Cardile.
And quickly there are 2 away. So here is John Cardile. As time is called. Cardile is a senior, hitting at 128 with 3 RBIs. And your pitch from Cross, swing, and this one is a grounder over to third base. Picked up there by Michael Leva. Throws to first, high throw, tagged by Glassman, not in time. Glassman came down on the back. Well, I'm not sure if he came down on the back or not, but he did try to tag Cardile going down the line.
The center fielder, number 24, Elliot Hayward.
Otherwise, it would have been a 3-pitch inning for Cross. So we go back to the top of the order, and Elliot Hayward, who walked his first time up. Left-handed batter, throw over to first. Cardile dives back. And so now, sun behind the clouds. As Cross with his pitch, chopped foul at the plate by Hayward. No balls and a strike. Old Bridge has won 8 of their last 9 games. Their last game they lost to Wall Township. That's not a state playoff game. State playoffs begin tomorrow for both teams. As at the set, runner goes and pitches high. Throw down to second will not be in time. Stolen base for Cardile. So the count is a ball and a strike on Hayward. And at the set is Cross. His next pitch. Swing, and this one is a grounder. Diving stop by Cruz. Turns, throws to first, but throws it wild over the head of Glassman to the fence. A run will score as Cardile comes in. And Old Bridge takes a 2-1 lead. De La Cruz made a nice sliding stop in the hole at shortstop. But then he popped up and made a wild throw to first that Glassman had no chance at. And so that would have to go as an error, I would think. On the throw. So here's Danny Chiafalo. He singled his first time up. Groundsman fouled on the right side. No balls and a strike. So the count at 0-1. So at the set now. And runner goes. Pitch is grounded foul right side. Over to the first base coach's box. No balls and 2 strikes on Chiafalo. So far, what you've seen. Let's see. We've had a run scored on a balk. We've had a run scored on a wild throw. So you're seeing that whoever makes the fewer mistakes here, as throw over to first, diving back, is Hayward. Whoever can make the fewest mistakes, gives themselves a great chance to win here. And I said before, I think this will be a 1-run game either way, but whoever makes the fewest mistakes, I think. Cross with his pitch. Popped up. Left side out of play. Still 0-2 on Danny Chiafalo. GMC Baseball Chairman Mike Petey ruling that a hit and an error. As throw over to first, Hayward dives back. And a couple of guys here at press row were talking about Jacob Saccone, the star pitcher for South Brunswick, and probably will get the start tomorrow for them. As runner goes and pitches outside a curve, throw down to second by Slover, and tag, not in time. Hayward steals the base, his 13th stolen base of the season. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Chiafalo. And those are the tough decisions that you have to make if you're head coach C.J. Hendricks for South Brunswick, or any coach for that matter, choosing between county and state. At the set is Cross. And his next pitch, swing and a miss at a high fastball for strike 3, side retired. First strikeout of the day for Justin Cross. That'll do it for Old Bridge in the second. So for the Knights, we'll call it 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. And so end of 2, Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. And so we'll break. We'll come back in just a moment here to Ray Cipperly Field. You're listening to the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network. Matt Laurie, facing a 1-0 count, takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike. So the count is 1-1. Laurie starts off the top of the 3rd inning, where it is now 2-1 Old Bridge. 2, 3, and 4 in the order for South Brunswick. 1-1 swing, and this is a short looper out to center field that's going to drop in for a base hit. So Matt Laurie picking up the leadoff single.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the right fielder, number 24, Mike Reyes.
Laurie is now 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Mike Reyes. Reyes singled his first time up. Throw over to first, Laurie getting back. And again, this is where the string of lefties in the South Brunswick order come in. And your pitch, swinging a chopper going over to first and picked up in fair ground. Throw to second on a hop, not in time. And skipped a hop there. And unable to pick it was Cardall at short.
Now batting for South
It went to Herbstman.
Catcher, number 14, Mike Slover.
And Herbstman with the low throw. So I'd imagine that'd have to be an error charge to Old Bridge. So give Reyes a fielder's choice. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And Mike Slover up. Slover hit by a pitch his first time up. And your pitch. And it's at the belt for a called strike. 0-1. So the count at 0-1. So Matt Baker at the set, but time is called. So again, South Brunswick threatening with a runner on second. Here in the top of the third, 2-1 Old Bridge. Baker at the set. And his next pitch, swing and a grounder. This one going over to second, picked up there by Chiafalo. He'll throw to first to get the out. Runners move up. Laurie to third, Reyes to second.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the designated hitter, number 22, Kyle White.
Kyle White struck out swinging his first time up. And so the Vikings looking to try to even things here. Of course, these two teams met in the regular season, both being in the GMC Red Division. First 2 games of the year, each team taking a game. And at the knees for a called strike pitch from Baker, 0-1. Of course, the opening day game at Old Bridge was done in honor of the late Zach Adenise, who was tragically killed in a car crash 3 years ago. Star pitcher for Old Bridge. Your next pitch, missing low. 1 ball and a strike on Kyle White. So at the set. And Baker with his pitch, missing outside with a fastball. 2 balls and a strike. So again, runner at third for South Brunswick. And your next pitch, swing, and this one is a grounder left side going over to third base. Picked up by Oliva, throws to first, and gets the out. Ahead of a diving Kyle White, side retired.
At the end of 2.5 innings of play, Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. Old Bridge pitch count is at 50.
So yeah, that ends the inning. So I'm just doing some totals here. So for South Brunswick, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. And so, or 1 error, I'm sorry, 1 error. So no runs on a hit, 1 error, 1 left. I'm just trying to figure something out. But middle of the third, 2-1 Old Bridge. So we'll break, assuming I can see my laptop. We'll break here, and we'll come back to Ray Cipperly Field in just a moment. I can see I'm going to have to plug something in. But we'll break. We'll come back with the GMC Championship on the King James Radio Network.
Number 13.
We come back.
Fauci.
We go to the bottom of the third inning. So Sonny Fauci up 3, 4, and 5 for Old Bridge, leading 2-1. First pitch from Justin Cross is a changeup missing outside for ball 1. Fauci walked his first time up. Time is called. We're making some changes to the scoreboard. So yes, South Brunswick being charged with 2 errors. So 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for South Brunswick. 2 runs, 2 hits for Old Bridge as Fauci launches one to left center field into the gap. And that's going to go all the way to the fence. Fauci will have himself a leadoff double here. Belt high pitch from Cross. And Fauci took it to left center field. First extra base hit of the game. So, runner on second for the Knights, and Matt Herbstman will come up. Herbstman hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Left-handed batter, turn to second, but no throw by Cross. All right, now with my laptop, I can actually see what I'm doing. As Cross will try to work. I think there's been runners on base in every inning here. And bunt drops down third base side. Off the mound is Cross. He'll throw to first. And nice pick. Covering was D'Amato, the second baseman. And he got the pick out of the ball in the dirt for the out. Moving over to third is Fauci. So a sacrifice 1-4.
Number 6, Mike Oliva.
Mike Oliva will come up. Oliva with a fielder's choice and an RBI his first time up. Right-handed batter. First pitch. Missing low, ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes. So again, Oldbridge knocking on the door. Crosses pitch, fouled off to the right. And the count now at 1-1. See if I can get the field dimensions for you guys here at Ray Cipperly Field. I mentioned that a couple of innings ago. Fastball missing outside. 2 balls and a strike. My vantage point down the left field line is not great. So I'll tell you to left center field is 358. As Cross with his next pitch. Swinging a pop-up. Going out to short center field. Coming in to make the catch. Actually, throw comes to the plate was Groover for the second out. Runners hold.
Now batting for Oldbridge, the left fielder.
Ball was shallow center
Matt
field.
Flores.
So obviously not deep enough for Fauci to try and score. But that'll bring up Matt Flores, who popped out to first his first time up. But yeah, as I was saying, it is 358 to left center, 387 to dead center. I'll get you the right field line. Flores, a right-handed batter. And your pitch from Cross in the dirt for ball one. Nice stop by the catcher, Slover. It is 3-0-2 down the right field line. And your next pitch, swinging a grounder past the mound, going over to short. De La Cruz on the run, makes the throw to first, and he got him. Side retired. Good play by De La Cruz, saving a run for the Vikings. That will do it for Oldbridge in the third. For the Knights, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. End of 3, Oldbridge 2, South Brunswick 1. We'll break, and we'll come back with the GMC Championship on the King James Radio Network. Matt Storch takes a fastball for a strike as we start the 4th inning. Takes another strike from Matt Baker, and it's 0-2. Storch grounded back to the pitcher, his first time up. So top of the 4th, 2-1 Oldbridge. Baker with his next pitch, fastball low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Baker into the line with his next, and it's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now conference as DeSegli, the catcher, will go out and talk to Baker here. So, we mentioned, the first run of the game coming in on a balk back in the first inning that gave South Brunswick their first run. As Baker with his next pitch, breaking ball, grounded past the mound, back up the middle, going over to short, picked there by Cardile. He'll throw to first and gets the out. 1 out. So 1 out, nobody on.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the center fielder, number 13, Kyle Groover.
That'll bring up Kyle Groover. Groover struck out swinging his first time up. Right-handed batter. So, both pitchers, I think, have found a rhythm here that you might see throughout, the rest of the game. Swing and a miss on a fastball, threw it by him, 0-1. And we talked in the, the last inning or so about Matt Baker and that deceptive fastball, because he's got that side-on delivery. Doesn't look like he throws particularly hard, but able to work that fastball and get it by a few hitters. Next one, that one fouled straight back. So Groover a little more keen to that one. No balls and 2 strikes. So, just keep an eye on that. The count at 0-2. So into the wind. Your next pitch. Swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup down for strike 3. DeSegli picks it out of the dirt, throws it to first to complete the strikeout. And that is the second out. 2 out, nobody on, and Jordan Glassman will come up.
Number 25, Jordan Glassman.
Glassman singled his first time up. One of 4 hits for South Brunswick. Old Bridge has 3, but they lead it 2-1. And your pitch from Baker. Just missed low, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. So Baker winds with his next pitch. Fastball inside. Glassman ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. So Baker ready. And he'll wind. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball at the knees for strike 1. 2-1. But yeah, I was saying earlier, I thought maybe Old Bridge would go with Jason Gilman here, who's 5-1, ERA of 1.27, but I think he'll make an appearance either today or tomorrow as we get a swing and a miss. Another one of those fastballs. This one getting by Glassman, 2-2. I think Gilman will make an appearance either today or tomorrow, whether it be today in the GMC final or tomorrow in Old Bridge's state playoff game. Old Bridge will take on Sayreville in the first round in Central Jersey Group 4 come tomorrow. South Brunswick also in that bracket. Your pitch. Swing and got him in on the hands. Grounder over to second. Chiafalo makes the throw to first. Side retired. So we have our first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Nothing across. Middle of the 4th. 2-1 Old Bridge. We'll break. We'll come back on the King James Radio Network. As we start the bottom of the 4th, Jason Gilman swings at the first pitch and grounds out to Jordan Glassman, who takes it to the bag for a 3 unassisted for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th as Old Bridge leads it 2-1. Bring up Andrew DeSegli, who grounded out to second his first time up. Takes an off-speed pitch from Justin Cross, low for ball 1. So, again, the breeze is not major. Fastball up and in. 2 balls and a strike on DeSegli. Outfield, playing pretty much straight up here. Maybe a little towards left. Your next pitch is at the knees for a call strike, 2-1. Mike Reyes playing a little, playing off the line in right field. But it's 2 balls and a strike. And your next pitch, 2-1, is lined back up the middle into center field for a base hit. DeSegli was, took that low fastball there from Cross and engulfed it into center field.
John Cardile.
So here's John Cardile. Cardile reached on an error his first time up. So a right-handed batter, and of course as this game goes on, the strategy, I think that's where the coaches become more important. A lot of times, especially in the Major League Baseball level, you might hear that the importance of the manager is overrated or what have you. But I think late in the game is where the manager/coach comes into play, where his strategy and his knowledge of the game comes in. Throw over to first, diving back is DeSegli. So in this case, you have C.J. Hendricks, who's in his 4th year, and Matt Donahue in his 2nd. How much of those experiences come into play here in the later innings will dictate what each coach decides to do. As Cross with his pitch. Runner goes, it's a strike, throw down to second, a high one, and off the glove of the shortstop, De La Cruz. Holding at second is DeSegli with a stolen base. It's no balls and a strike on Cardile. So for DeSegli, it's only his 2nd steal of the season. So 0-1. Cross at the set. And his next pitch, change up, foul back. And it's 0-2. See, I mentioned it's 302 down the right field line. I can't see down the left field line, but I imagine it's not much more than that. Maybe a few feet more. Generally, the left field line will be a little bit further out. Cross at the set. Turns, throws to second. Diving back, just barely. Oh, no. Did they get him? I think the umpire changed the call. He did. They called him out, and now Matt Donahue's going to want an explanation. Or the original call was safe, and then the umpire did almost a tomahawk chop to signal out. And so they do pick off DeSeglia at second base. So score that 1-6 on the pickoff. There are 2 out in the inning. And now 0-2 on Cardile. So Cross with his next pitch. It's in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And so Cross will come to the set. Change up, drops in for strike 3. Side retired.
After 4 full innings of play.
And so the unconventional 1-2-3 inning there for Cross. That's only his second strikeout. For Oldbridge, no runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left. End of 4. And Oldbridge leads it 2-1. We'll break. We'll come back with the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network. 5th inning. And Mike D'Amato takes a fastball low from Matt Baker for ball 1. 2-1 Oldbridge. Next pitch. Fastball low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. It'll be 9-1-2 here for South Brunswick in the top of the 5th. Baker winds his next pitch. That's at the knees for a called strike. And the count at 2-1. Again, both teams looking for their first GMC championship in a while. Fastball low. 3-1. Oldbridge has 3 championships, their last one in 2011. South Brunswick has 2, as fastball at the knees for a called strike. 3-2 now on D'Amato. South Brunswick won theirs in 2002 and 2010. Time is called by D'Amato. He steps out. Of course, I remember the one vividly in 2010 because that's when they beat North Brunswick. Beat the Raiders 9-2 that day. They tacked on some runs in the bottom of the 6th to win that game. Your next pitch. Grounder over to shortstop. Picked up there by Cardile. Throws to first. And tripping over the bag is the runner, D'Amato. But he's all right as he crashed to the dirt. But he appears to be all right. So 1 out.
How about it for South Brunswick? The shortstop, number 1, Nick Dela Cruz.
So here's Nick Dela Cruz at the top of the order. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to the pitcher and struck out swinging. Dela Cruz, a right-handed batter. And Matt Baker with ball and glove into the wind with his pitch. Swinging a foul straight back. No balls and a strike.
Just a friendly reminder, please return all foul balls to the nearest dugout. Thank you.
So 0-1 on De La Cruz, and Baker wants a new baseball. It's funny now, when you watch your Major League Baseball on TV, if there's so much as a pitch in the dirt, the pitcher gets a new ball. You know, if you so much as blow your nose on it, you know, you get a new baseball. It's just funny how things have changed. Next pitch, swing, and this is a grounder back to the pitcher, Baker. He's got it, underhands it to first to get De La Cruz for the second out. So 2 out, nobody on.
The left fielder, number 7, Matt Laurie.
Matt Laurie is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And now the string of left-handed batters for South Brunswick comes up. So Baker will go into the wind with his pitch and lays off, pitches inside for ball one. Of course, those of you that follow our North Brunswick Raiders coverage, you know that we'll see South Brunswick again. Time is called before the pitch. A lot of late time calls. Guys stepping out late as the pitcher goes into his windup on both sides. And home plate umpire Craig Kilduff is granted it each time. 1-1. Fastball outside. Or 1-0, excuse me. 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Laurie. But as I was saying, for those of you that follow our North Brunswick Raiders coverage, you know that we'll see South Brunswick again on Friday. 2-0. Missing outside, ball 3. Count at 3-0 on Laurie. It'll be North Brunswick versus South Brunswick at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater on Friday. It's actually a makeup date from a game that was supposed to be played 2 weeks ago but got rained out. Baker's 3-0. He's at the knees for a called strike. And it's 3-1. Game is scheduled for 2 o'clock. But South Brunswick, of course, has a lot to do before then. This game today and the state playoffs tomorrow. 3-1. At the knees for a called strike. And so Baker has come back to work at full at 3-2. You got the batter's eye behind the center field fence here at Ray Cipperly Field. The black batter's eye. The American flag standing atop of that. 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Matt Laurie. 2 out here in the top of the 5th. Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. Matt Baker winds. 3-2. At the knees, called strike 3. Side retired.
4.5 innings of play. Old Bridge 2,
well,
South Brunswick 1.
He got what he needed. Strikeout number 5 for Baker, who's at 77 pitches. He gets South Brunswick in order in the top of the 5th. Nothing across for the Vikings. We played 4.5, and it's 2-1 Old Bridge. We'll come back on the King James Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And so we have a 2-1 game. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what happened to. I guess it was Mike Reyes at second base. But I'll figure, I'll get to that, later. But Elliot Hayward is up for Old Bridge and takes a pitch at the belt for a called strike. 0-1. It'll be top of the order for the Knights here as they lead 2-1, bottom 5. Hayward. And your next pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Hayward has walked and reached on an error. So Justin Cross trying to keep South Brunswick in it. Next pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And so Cross into the line. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup for strike 3. And that is the first out.
Now batting for Old Bridge, the second baseman, number 5, Danny Chiaffola.
That is strikeout number 3 for Justin Cross. Cross comes in. Well, I don't have his strikeouts per 7 innings, but he had 23 strikeouts in 32 2/3. Chiaffola up as he grounds one foul over to the first base side. No balls and a strike. Danny Chiaffola has singled and struck out, so 1 for 2. Well, 33 strikeouts and 37 2/3 for Cross. So just doing some math, that's a little less than 7 per 7 innings. Probably around 6.7, maybe 6.6, 6.7. As that went in the dirt. So a ball and a strike on Chiaffola. Sonny Fauci on deck. And Cross with ball and glove will make his next pitch. Swing and a foul straight back. 1-2 on Chiaffola. Head coach C.J. Hendricks out of the South Brunswick dugout to retrieve that one. 1-2. Outfield, I'll say that Reyes is playing off the line in right. Your pitch. Swinging as soon as a grounder over to second base. Ranging to his left is D'Amato. He throws to first.
Now batting for Old Bridge,
And that's the
right
second
fielder,
out.
Number 13, Sonny Fauci.
2 out, nobody on, and Sonny Fauci at the plate. Fauci doubled for the only extra base hit of the game his last time up. Fauci, a right-handed batter. The other 7 hits in this game have been all singles or infield hits. Your pitch, curve, drops in for strike 1. 4 hits for South Brunswick, 4 hits for Old Bridge, but the Knights lead it 2-1. Time is called. Fauci steps out. Next pitch, fastball high. 1 ball and a strike. We mentioned Old Bridge has Sayreville in the state playoffs coming up. I don't think we mentioned where South Brunswick will be going for states. Next pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike on Sonny Fauci. South Brunswick's opponent in the Central Jersey Group 4 first round will be Montgomery, the Montgomery Cougars. 2-1 on Fauci. Cross shaking off a sign. And now he's ready. 2-1. Fastball just missed low. Ball 3. Cross wanted to know where that was. Not happy. 3 balls and a strike. And now winds. 3-1 pitch. Missing high. Ball 4. And Cross is going to be even more unhappy. He's flailing his hands, looking over at C.J. Hendricks in the South Brunswick dugout.
First baseman, number 16, Matt Herbstman.
And so, runner on first and 2 out, and Matt Herbstman will come to the plate. Herbstman sacrificed his last time up, also reached on a fielder's choice. So officially 0 for 1. At the set is Cross. And his pitch, missing inside, ball 1. So now, if you're Cross, you're at a crossroads because that last batter, kind of upset him a little because he wasn't getting the strike call. Can he settle in and get the last out here? Cross is at the set. And his next pitch, that's at the knees for a called strike. And it's 1-1. I didn't necessarily intend to use Cross the Bear and Crossroads in the same game, but I've done that. 1 ball and a strike on Hertzman. Cross will come to the set, throw over to first. Excuse me. Diving back is Fauci. Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here for the GMC Championship. And runner does not go, pitches low. 2 balls and a strike. For the last 5 years, this game has been decided by 1 run. 2-1 last year. South Plainfield beat Perth Amboy. And your next pitch is at the belt for a called strike. And it's 2-2. Yeah, South Plainfield beat Perth Amboy in extra innings 2-1. The previous 4 games were a final score of 1-0. And amazingly enough, by some minor miracle, I've called each one of them. Throw over to first. And getting back is Fauci. Just means I'm getting a little older, I guess. But nothing like a baseball game here in the middle of May. Throw over. Especially when your Mets are sputtering like an airplane running out of gas. Oh, the Marlins beat the Mets 3-0. Mickey Callaway, I hope he's got his laptop updating his resume. Next pitch gets by Slover to the backstop. It's ball 3. Heading down to second is Fauci. We'll call it a pass ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Hertzman. And Slover will head out here, probably got crossed up with Cross. But, listen, I don't hate Mickey Callaway. I don't. But he hasn't exactly looked good this year. Especially with the management of his bullpen and his pitching in general. But then you get swept by the Marlins that were 10-31 coming into the weekend. I don't care where the game is. I don't care if it's in the Miami Sound. I don't care where the game is. And Cross with his pitch. Swing and a slice foul off to the left. Headed right over towards that pickup truck. Hit the tire there. This is one of those times where I wish I had an insurance sponsor for the game, but that's another matter. Still 3-2 on Hertzman, but I could go on a Mets rant for the next 15 minutes. I won't do that. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Leading off second is Fauci. The Yankees, on the other hand, 3-2. Missing high, ball 4. So the walk to Hertzman. And
the third baseman, number 6, Mike Oliva.
That is the second walk of the day issued by Cross. First and second for the Knights with 2 outs, and Mike Oliva at the plate. Oliva with an RBI fielder's choice and flight out to center. Now the Yankees, on the other hand, they seem to pick up guys, the vendors in the stands. As check swing, did he go around? Looks like he did. Strike 1. They pick up guys from the stands, crossing guards, whomever, and they make it work. Fighting for first place with the Rays in the AL East. No balls and a strike on Oliva. Fastball misses high, throw down to first, not in time. Getting back is Herbstman. I mean, listen, as much as I despise the Yankees, I can still give them their due in that they find ways to win. Ball and a strike. Time is called. Because I probably couldn't name, now that Judge and Stanton and everybody's out, I probably couldn't name 5 guys on the Yankees, and there they are, right there on the doorstep. At the set is Cross. And his next pitch popped up, right field line. Reyes a long way over and tries to make the sliding catch, but it drops in foul territory. We mentioned a couple of times today that Reyes was playing off the line in right field, and so when you have a foul ball like that, he's got a long way to go. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Oliva. Sonny Fauci, he's been at second for quite some time. Herbstman at first. Cross at the set. Well, long look at second. And his next pitch. Change up, swung on a miss, strike 3. And that'll do it. Side retired.
After 5 full innings,
so 4 strikeouts for Justin Cross. And so Cross at 78 pitches.
South Brunswick pitch count.
Oldbridge does not score in the 5th for the Knights. They do get a couple of walks, but they leave 2. And so we have played 5. 2-1 Oldbridge. We'll break. We'll come back to Ray Cipperly Field in a moment with the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network.
This week at Restoration Place, Trust Him in Everything by First Lady Darlene Bazemore.
We have to be, when we have difficult circumstances and situations that face us in our lives, we have to trust Him with our last. We have to trust Him with everything.
Be restored at Restoration Place every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and on demand anytime on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
Listen to the King James Radio Network by downloading the Spreaker app to your phone or tablet. Spreaker is spelled S-P-R-E-A-K-E-R. You can find it in the App Store on your iPhone or on Google Play for Android users.
My thanks, of course, to the lovely and talented Hannah Rodriguez for her voiceover work as we go to the top of the one. Oldbridge leads it. South Brunswick down to their last 6 outs here to try to win the GMC championship. Here's Mike Reyes. Reyes is 1 for 2, hitting with a fielder's choices last time up. Again, each team with 4 hits. Matt Baker's pitch, fastball outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. And your next pitch, That one is at the belt for a called strike, and it's 1-1. And Baker's next. Breaking ball, grounded foul, first base side. And the count now at 1-2. So yeah, so for all you Mets fans, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I don't care. I don't care if they where the game is. I don't care if it's in Miami. I don't care if it's here. Your pitch sails over the head of the catcher DeSegli to the backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But you can't get swept by the Marlins on any level. And you know, the 2-2 swinging a grounder back to the mound. Fielded by Baker, underhands to first. 1 out. All right, I'm done with that. 1 out, nobody on.
With the catcher, number 14, Mike Slover.
Here's Mike Slover. Slover has been hit by a pitch and grounded out to second. I mean, listen, football season's around the corner, isn't it? Now, as a Giants fan, I truly believe the Jets are cursed, but that's another conversation. Fastball low, ball 1. Because they go and they fire the GM after he drafts everybody. Baker's 1-0. Misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. But then you have the Giants GM who lies to everybody about not trading his star player. But you know, that's New York sports. That's probably, just to kind of bring it back around to high school, that's probably why I like doing high school sports, because you don't have to deal with any of that nonsense. And the 2-0. Missing outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. On the left-handed hitting Mike Slover. .30 pitch. That's at the knees. 3-1. Kyle White is on deck. 1 out. Nobody on top of the 6th. And Old Bridge with a 2-1 lead. Next pitch. Swinging a line drive into left field for a base hit. So Slover going the other way. Hit number 5 for the Vikings. And they have a runner on first.
South Brunswick, the designated hitter, number 22, Kyle White.
We're going to get a runner for South Brunswick here. It'll be Jay Chada. Chada will run. He's a junior. He will run for the Vikings for the catcher Slover. So Chada will be on first. And Kyle White at the plate. White is 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out to third. Home plate umpire Craig Kilduff making the change in his lineup card.
South Brunswick, number 5, Jay Chada.
It looks like Mike Oliva playing a couple of steps off the line at third. It looks like he's slowly creeping in. And your pitch is a fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. It looks like Old Bridge, the infield, looks like might be, trying to play it halfway here. I don't think White is bunting, especially now behind 0-1. Throw over to first. Diving back is Slover. See, as you see, Oliva on the grass. Now he's backing up at third. And I think they're going to play it back. Next pitch. This is outside. 1 ball and a strike. So, yeah, I think Matt Donahue probably told him he's not bunting. Count at 1-1. I mean, you're at the point in the game where maybe you could try to do that. Next pitch. This is a high pop-up in the right center field. And going to get it is Elliott Hayward. He makes the catch for the second out. Going back to first is Slover. 2 out, and Matt Storch will come up.
How about it for South Brunswick, the third baseman, number 6, Matt Storch.
Storch grounded out to short. His last time up, he's 0 for 2. I said in my preview, I think this guy is a hitter. And so Baker at the set. His pitch. Fastball at the knees for strike 1. No balls and a strike. Chada leading off first. Next pitch. Throw down the first. The pitch was high. Getting back is Chata. It looked like, I don't know, that looked like an awkward stride to the plate there from Baker. That wasn't a full stride. That was more like a half stride to the plate. 1 ball and a strike. Like, he didn't really have a lot of leg drive behind that pitch, I don't think. Another throw over and Chata diving back. And, I mean, these guys are all young, so I don't know how much fatigue sets in here. It is a warm day. And Baker's pitch, popped foul, right side, going into the crowd, out of play. So it's a ball and 2 strikes on Matt Storch. But, you know, these guys are all young. They stay hydrated. You know, I'm sure the coaches take care of that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chata will tie the shoelaces. And now he will take his lead off of first. 2-1 Old Bridge. Your next pitch from Baker, just missed low. Baker he was going to the dugout, puts his hands on his head in frustration. And now the shortstop, John Cardile, will try to settle him down. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both pitchers at times have not been happy with the balls and strikes. 2-2 on Storch. Runner goes, 2-2 is outside. Throw to second, not in time. Chata had a nice jump there on his way down to second base. So he's in scoring position. And the count is full, 3-2 on Storch. South Brunswick trying to get the tying run in. Baker at the set. And 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That one tailing down, side retired. Strikeout number 6 for Matt Baker. He is at 96 pitches.
Pitch count for Old Bridge, 96.
And so that will take care of business in the 6th for the Vikings. For South Brunswick, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Middle of the 6th, Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. We'll come back with the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network. Bottom of the 6th inning. Head coach Matt Donahue checking the pitch count for his pitcher, Matt Baker.
Coming off the bottom of the 6th for Old Bridge, the left fielder, number 9, Matt Flores.
Meanwhile, it'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order here for the Knights. Matt Flores, Jason Gilman, and Andrew DeSegli are up. Flores is 0 for 2, grounded out to short his last time up. Meanwhile, Justin Cross back out for inning number 6. He winds, and his pitch bunts, drops it down in front of the plate. Slover picks it up, throws to first. In time, gets him by a step. 1 out. So Flores bunting for a base hit there. But Slover, they would be quick enough to the draw. So 1 out, nobody on. And I think we're going to get a pinch hitter here for Gilman.
Pinch hitting for Old Bridge, number 2, Brandon Mark.
So it will be senior Brandon Mark pinch hitting. Mark hitting a .206 on the year with 7 runs batted in. So Matt Donahue will go to his bench here. Brandon Mark, a right-handed batter. And so going into the wind is Cross with his pitch. Curve drops in for strike 1. No balls and a strike. The 0-1. Fastball hit on the ground over to a short. Nick De La Cruz gloves it, throws it on the run to first, but throws it to Glassman. He had to leap to make the tag, did not, at least not in time. So the throw from De La Cruz pulling Glassman off the base. Glassman, both Glassman and Cross trying to argue it, but to no avail. So that would be an error on the throw then, pulling Glassman off the bag. 3rd error for South Brunswick. So Brandon Marcus on first, Andrew DeSegli at the plate. He's 1 for 2, singled his last time up. First pitch, fastball at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. throw over to first, and diving back is Brandon Mark. So a pivotal spot here for Cross, trailing 2-1 here in the 6th. And pitch is swung on a miss on a hit and run. Throw to second, tag, out at second base. Even with Slover unable to make the clean transfer from glove to hand, he still had enough to get off a throw and get it over to second base, where De La Cruz slaps on the tag, and they get Mark caught stealing, 2 out. It'll be 0-2 on DeSegli. And Cross's pitch, changeup grounded foul, left side. Still 0-2. I got the bracket here for the Central Jersey Group 4 State Playoffs in front of me. Next pitch, missing up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So let me see. South Brunswick and Old Bridge, if they were to meet, it would be in the finals. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Low one for strike 3. Side retired. And so Cross gets his 5th strikeout. He has retired his last 4 batters. And so Old Bridge goes in order in the 6th. So nothing across for the Knights. 3 outs left to go for Matt Baker. He'll try to get the final 3. We go to the 7th, 2-1 Old Bridge. We'll break. We'll come back with the GMC Baseball Championship on the King James Radio Network.
This is James Thompson, and you're listening to the King James Radio Network.
7th inning, and thus 3 more outs for Matt Baker. He'll try to finish things off here. The pitch counts are not really a factor at this point. Looks like South Brunswick will start to go into their bench a little more. Looks like Jacob Saccone will come up to pinch hit for Kyle Groover.
7th for South Brunswick. Pinch hitting, number 3, Jacob Saccone.
So Saccone pinch hitting. Saccone hitting at .212, 2 homers and 11 runs driven in. He has the only 2 home runs for South Brunswick this year. And so C.J. Hendricks perhaps looking for a long ball. And Baker's pitch, fastball at knees for a called strike. 0-1. And so it looks like one way or the other, most likely for the 6th year in a row, this game will be decided by a run. Your next pitch, changeup swung on a missed. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. So Baker with ball and glove. And now he will be ready. Goes into the windup and is 0-2. And it hits Chacon. It hit him on the left leg and then it bounced up and hit him in the face. Home plate umpire Craig Kilduff trotting down the first with Chacon to A, check on him, B, make sure Chacon doesn't have any thoughts of any extracurriculars. So Chacon down at first. It looks like Jay Chata will once again run here.
Pinch running for South Brunswick, number 5, Jay Chata.
So Chata represents the tying run at first, running for Chacon.
Now batting for South Brunswick, the first baseman, number 25, Jordan Glassman.
And Jordan Glassman will be up. Glassman 1 for 2, grounded out to second his last time up. He's also single. 1 of 5 hits on the day for the Vikings. Conference at the mound. Baker's going to stay in. So, I think Matt Downey's going to give Baker every opportunity here to try and finish it. And again, considering both teams have, state playoff aspirations beginning tomorrow, that's a factor here too. Meanwhile, Chada is at first with the tying run. Jordan Glassman up, right-handed batter. Oliva at the edge of the grass at third. Holding the bag at first is Earthsman. First pitch, fastball at the knees for a called strike. 0-1. Now, if this was the number 9 hitter, which was Mike D'Amato, then you might expect bunt here, but so far no signs of one coming from Glassman. Baker at the set. Does bunt, drops it down third base side. Oliva charging, but it's a foul ball left side. Crossed over the third base line. No balls and 2 strikes now on Glassman. So now, if you're C.J. Hendricks, do you take off the bunt? As he will give the signs here. And don't count out Chada trying to steal second. And your next pitch, fastball hit on the ground and stays in play over on first base. Herbstman to the bag. It took a funny hop on the grass. It looked like it was going to roll foul, and then it took a funny hop on the grass and bounced back towards fair territory where Herbstman picked it up, gets the out. Moving to second is Chada. So,
for South Brunswick, the second
runner on second
12,
and 1 out.
D'Amato.
Here's Mike D'Amato. D'Amato is 0 for 2, grounded out to short his last time up. And if you're Baker, this is a batter you want as the number 9 hitter before the top of the order comes up. And his pitch drops in for a called strike. 0-1. No balls and a strike. All 3 runs in this game came in the first 2 innings. And your next pitch, fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. 0-2 on D'Amato. South Brunswick with a run in the top of the first. Old Bridge countered with a run in the bottom of the first, and then 1 in the bottom of the second, and that's been it. No balls, 2 strikes on Mike D'Amato. South Brunswick with a tying run at second. Time is called. D'Amato steps out. Jay Chada, courtesy running for Jacob Saccone. He is on second with the tying run. Mike D'Amato is the hitter. No balls and 2 strikes. Matt Baker comes to the set. And his 0-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper. Going left side to Oliva over at third. He'll throw to first. 2 out. Chada holds it second. And so the Vikings are down to their last out. Top of the order, and Nick De La Cruz.
For South Brunswick, the shortstop, number 1, Nick De La Cruz.
De La Cruz is 0 for 3. He is grounded back to the pitcher twice. So Chada at second. Baker looks back. Now his pitch. Fastball in the dirt, and nice block by DeSegli, ball 1. I'd say it's about roughly 12, 13 feet or so to the backstop here from behind home plate. Baker at the set. And his next pitch. Fastball at the knees for a called strike. 1-1 on De La Cruz. De La Cruz came into today hitting at .338 with 14 RBIs on the season. Looking for the biggest one of his career. At the set is Baker. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss at a low fastball. 1-2. South Brunswick is down to their last strike. And so the Old Bridge crowd will get riled up here. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. Matt Baker at the set. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Stopped by DeSegli. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Old Bridge dugout. They're cheering. 2-2. Time is called. De La Cruz calling time. Baker needs 1 more pitch. Jay Chada leading off a second. Matt Baker at the set. Looks back at second. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive down the left field line, but foul. So it's still 2-2. So still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nick De La Cruz. Chata will once again lead off second as the tying run. Matt Baker at the set. And his 2-2 pitch. Change up, missing low, ball 3. The count full to De La Cruz at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chata leads off second. Baker with the 3-2. Swing and a chopper, foul left side. Still 3-2 on De La Cruz. This will be pitch. This will be pitch number 8 for Baker, and if I heard right, Baker's reached his pitch limit, which would be 110 as mandated by the NJSIA. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Baker at the set. 3-2 pitch is low with a fastball, ball 4. Chata runs going to third. He makes it. Slid in past the tag of Oliva. And we'll have runners at first and third. Matt Donahue has to take Baker out as he has reached the max pitch limit. 113 pitches for Matt Baker. So Baker comes out to a nice hand. And that was Matt Baker's first walk of the afternoon. So Chata steals third.
Now pitching for Old Bridge, number 18, Jason Gilman.
And indeed, the sophomore. I told you guys a couple of innings ago, I thought Jason Gilman would find his way in either today or tomorrow. And so here he is, Jason Gilman on the pitch to try to get the final out. So we'll break. We'll come back with the GMC Baseball Tournament Championship game on the King James Radio Network. All right, so we come back, and Jason Gilman will try to get the final out to give Old Bridge their first GMC title since 2011. Gilman has a 1.27 earned run average. He is 5-1 on the season, 27 2/3 innings pitched, 18 hits allowed, 9 walks, and 31 strikeouts for Gilman. Looks like it's just a straight switch. No other changes in the field. And so Matt Laurie is the hitter with runners at first and third. The tying run at third for South Brunswick. Laurie is 2 for 3, 2 singles. Struck out looking his last time up. Lefty against lefty. Gilman will make his pitch. Fastball in the dirt, ball 1. And I just noticed Chris Piccarello is now at second base for the Knights. And Gilman with his pitch. Fastball missing inside, ball 2. And the Old Bridge crowd not happy with that. 2 balls and no strikes. So the count at 2-0. As Gilman winds, 2-0 pitch. Fastball at the knees for strike 1. Laurie taking all the way, 2 balls and a strike. Jay Chata is the runner at third. Nick De La Cruz at first. De La Cruz with 13 stolen bases, so he might take off here to try to draw a throw. 2 balls and a strike. Gilman at the set. De La Cruz not running. 2-1 curve, drops in for strike 2. And again, for the second time in this inning, South Brunswick down to their final strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gilman at the set. Runner goes 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that'll do it. This game is over. And the Old Bridge Knights capture the GMC Championship with a 2-1 win over the South Brunswick Vikings here at Ray Cipperly Field. Jason Gilman comes in and gets the final out. And the Old Bridge Knights with the dog pile over on the first base side.
A great GMC final.
They win the GMC championship. Old Bridge wins their 4th GMC title. 1987, 1989, and 2011 are the other 3. 1987 and 1989, they were not Old Bridge at that point. It was Madison Central and Cedar Ridge. The irony there is that in 1989, Madison Central and Cedar Ridge played each other for the GMC title. But both of those schools combining, I believe in the 90s, to form Old Bridge. But bringing it back to the present day of 2019, the Knights win it by a score of 2-1 here over South Brunswick. And so for the Vikings in the 7th, let me just double check something. Yeah, hit, batter, and a walk. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The final score here from Ray Cipperly Field in the GMC championship game. The Old Bridge Knights 2, the South Brunswick Vikings 1. We'll break, and we'll come back with our post-game interview. And we'll do that in just a moment. You're listening to the GMC Baseball Tournament Championship game on the King James Radio Network. We come back here with the final score being 2-1. The Old Bridge Knights win the GMC championship as they defeat the South Brunswick Vikings. And so all 3 runs in this game it wasn't exactly a slugfest. Let's put it that way. Old Bridge, let's start with South Brunswick in the top of the first to start the game. 2 batters in, Matt Laurie, he singled. And then Mike Reyes singled. That put runners at first and second. Mike Slover was hit by a pitch to load the bases, but then Old Bridge pitcher Matt Baker would come back with a strikeout of Kyle White and got Matt Stewart. Well, in the process, he balked before that. That's where the run came in. Before the strikeout, he balked to bring in a run, bringing in Laurie. Then struck out Kyle White and then got Matt Stewart to ground out. So that made it 1-0. So that run scoring on a balk. And Old Bridge in the bottom of the first, Elliot Hayward, the leadoff hitter, he walked. Danny Chiafalo, he singled. And then Sonny Fauci would walk to load the bases with nobody out. Matt Hertzman would ground into a fielder's choice and to play at the plate. So bases were still loaded. And then Matt Hertzman would hit into a fielder's I said Hertzman hit into a fielder's choice. Mike Oliva then excuse me. My sneezes come in clusters, so you have to bear with me. But as I was saying, Mike Oliva hit into a fielder's choice that did drive in a run. It drove in Chiafalo to tie the game at 1. And then second inning, with 2 out and nobody on, John Cardile reached on an error. And then Elliot Hayward, Cardile stole second. And then Hayward would reach on a throwing error that would score Cardile for the second run for Old Bridge. That made it 2-1. As GMC Baseball Chairman Mike Peedy making the announcements of the presentations for both runners-up and champions. South Brunswick getting their runner-up plaque, and then Old Bridge will get their championship plaque. But that made it 2-1, and that's where it was. It was basically about the pitchers the rest of the way. And, both Matt Baker for Old Bridge, who gets the win, of course, and Justin Cross in a gallant effort for South Brunswick. So,
and now the 2019 GMC Baseball Conference champions, Old Bridge High School.
So there you hear that. They will get their championship plaque. But we'll do the totals here, and then we'll hopefully get to our post-game interview. For the Old Bridge Knights, 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. They left 6 men on base. For South Brunswick, 1 run on 5 hits and 3 errors. They left 7. Matt Baker is your winning pitcher. He is now 3-0. Justin Cross gets the loss. He is 4-2. And so for Baker, he pitched 6 2/3 innings. We'll start there. 6 2/3 innings for Baker. 5 hits.
Thank you for coming out.
Only 1 walk,
South Brunswick and Old Bridge.
which came on his
Today,
final batter.
And all GMC baseball.
But
Again,
1 walk
again, please arrive home safely.
and 6 strikeouts. So that's the line for Baker. For Cross, he pitched 6 innings. Cross pitched 6 innings, allowed only 4 hits. He walked, let's see, I gotta count it up, but he walked 4, it looks like, and struck out 5. So that's the line for Cross. So, with that, I don't think there's actually, the only RBI of this game came from Oliva. Because like I said, there was a run scored on a balk and there was a run scored on an error. So, with that, what we'll do is we will break, and when we come back, did they name I don't know if they named an MVP. I don't think they did. I don't think they formally named a finals MVP. I'm assuming it would be Baker. I'm just assuming. But I don't think they actually named one. But I guess we'll find out one way or the other. But what we'll do here is, as we wait, I'm going to wait for Matt Baker here. And we'll have him come over and chat with us for a little bit. I'm sure there's a couple of replies. I know Greg Tafaro's here, so he'll probably talk to Baker as well. But what we'll do here is, now picture taking is over. So we'll break. We'll come back. We'll see if we can get Matt Baker here in just a moment. This is the GMC Baseball Tournament Championship game on the King James Radio Network. All right, and so we come back here to Ray Cipperly Field over at East Brunswick Tech. And again, the Old Bridge Knights, they win the GMC Championship by a score of 2-1 over the South Brunswick Vikings. I'm expecting Matt Baker here in just a moment. So we'll talk to him. We gave you his pitching line before the break, so we'll give that to you one more time before he makes his way here. Baker went 6 2/3 innings before reaching his max pitch limit. I believe it was 113 pitches that he ended up with. So he had to come out with the pitch limit being 110. You are allowed, if you are before 110, you are allowed to pitch to the batter, and then once you cross 110, you can finish that batter, and then you have to come out, and that's what happened with Baker there in his last batter, Nick De La Cruz. But 6 2/3 innings for Baker, and again allowing only 5 hits. 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, which was the walk to De La Cruz that ended his outing, and finished with 6 strikeouts. So we'll see if Baker makes his way over. And so with that being said, Old Bridge winning their first title since 2011. So hopefully Mike Petey doesn't unplug me there. So we'll see. But, with that being said, obviously a very close game, a 1-run game. And so obviously, here he comes now, a 1-run game. And, I've always talked about in these championship games, when it's a 1-run situation, you have to pitch and you have to play defense. And so, Baker was able to do the pitching part, and then he needed his guys behind him to do the rest of it. So, Matt Baker making his way over. But, you've done enough of these, at least I have. I've done enough of these games now to know that, there's so little room for error in these games. And so here's Matt Baker now. I'll have him flip on the headset right there, and he'll talk to us here in just a second. And so winning pitcher Matt Baker from Old Bridge joining us. And again, 6 2/3 innings today for the Knights as they win the GMC Championship. Did you know when you were pitching to De La Cruz there, did you know that was going to be your last batter?
Yeah, going into the inning, I knew how I had 15 pitches left. So in my head, I knew that was my last batter. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him out, but my teammate came in and did the job.
That was your only walk. So did you feel like you had good control up until then?
Yeah, definitely. That last pitch, I got out in front a little bit, and unfortunately it was a ball, but my teammate came in and shut it down.
Jason Gilman came in and got the final out. Coming into today, I'll start with Zach Adenese, who you guys have his number wearing on your sleeve. Obviously was inspirational for you guys, and not just today, but even throughout the course of the season, starting with opening day. How much strength did you draw from him going through the whole season?
Every time we stepped on the field, no matter if it was practice, game, anything, he was always in our heads. We knew that as soon as the season started, every single pitch, every single swing, every rep at any position was all for him. So we just knew going into every game that we just had to get the job done and do it for him. And I'm happy today that we could do it for him.
This is your third time playing against South Brunswick this year, so any familiarity as far as what you wanted to throw to the hitters?
Definitely. Going into the game, I knew that they struggled with the slider and the off-speed pitches, so I tried to gas out the fastball early in the count and then drop in the slider at the end of the count to get them off balance and everything.
And, first run of the game came in on a balk, so how did you settle down, not let that bother you, and just go back to trying to pitch?
I knew I messed up, and I knew I had to just get out that inning with only one round, so I just bared down and just got the job done in that inning.
And then, like I said, no runs the rest of the way. When they scored, when you guys scored your run in the bottom of the first, and then another run in the second, was it one of those things where the light bulb kicks in and says, okay, guys, you did your job, now I have to go out and do my part?
100%. I knew going into the third inning that I had a lead 2-1. My job was just to do what I had to do on the mound. That's all I knew that I had to do, was just bear down and just get them out pitch after pitch.
And in a in big games like this, as you see, runs are far and few between. Did Coach Donahue talk to you guys about that before the game, that runs are going to be pretty scarce?
No, not really. We went into the same game with the game with the same mentality that we always went to. We see him before. We knew what he had. We knew that we just had to get the job done at the plate and the field.
And talk a minute about the guys that you have behind you. Obviously to win 2-1, you got to play pretty good defense. No errors on the board for you guys today. They made 3, so obviously a huge difference. Talk about your guys behind you.
All season these kids have been lights out. No matter where the ball hit on the field, I know that they're gonna get that out for me. We're best friends in and out the game, so no matter when the ball or where the ball is hit, I just know that they got my back.
Going anywhere special after the game?
No, not yet.
All right.
Don't know yet.
All right. I was gonna say you're probably tired, so you probably just want to go home and take it easy for a minute.
Yeah, maybe.
You Mets fan, Yankees fan?
Yankees.
Yankees. All right. So you're almost in seventh heaven. They're fighting with the Rays for first place right now. So, this is going to be kind of a weird question, but do you draw any inspiration from the fact that on the Yankees, you have a bunch of guys that just the big guy, a lot of big players are hurt right now, so a lot of those guys are just kind of piecing it together. Do you feel like in a similar way that's what you guys are?
Oh yeah, there's never one player on this team that comes up in a clutch spot. We have a lot of depth throughout the lineup and the pitching staff, so no matter who's in the box or on the mound, I have full confidence with anybody on my team.
And you still have state playoffs ahead of you, so I'm sure you're going to have Fauci going. What do you expect? What do you expect for states?
We saw Sayreville 3 times this year. I had definitely a lot of success against them, and last year, and I know whoever's on the mound is just going to shut it down.
And finally, let me see. I believe, if I'm correct, you're a senior. If I'm correct.
Yeah.
So then this will be it then. No matter what happens with Sayreville, no matter what happens the rest of the way, what's the memory, I guess, that you take from wearing that jersey?
We did everything for Zach this year. It was all about him. I knew going into the season that I had a lot of confidence in my teammates, and we just got the job done here today.
There you go, Matt Baker. Again, talking about getting the job done for Old Bridge as they win it. He went 6 2/3, gets the Knights to the GMC championship. And so now I assume the trophy goes up like in the hallway somewhere at school. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't go to anyone's house or anything. Okay, all right. You probably want it at your house.
Yeah,
absolutely. I can't blame you. Hey, thanks for coming by, and good luck to you guys in States.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too. You can put that there. Yeah, so Matt Baker. And again, gets the win, and Jason Gilman comes in and gets the final out, and Old Bridge, they take home the GMC championship by a score of 2-1. And so we read your Baker's line, we read you the final totals, and so with that, we will bid you adieu from Ray Cipperly Field. My thanks again to Mike Petey here at East Brunswick Tech, and we will talk to you again along the way. My next broadcast will be Tuesday. We have the Linwood Invitational Tuesday for all of you folks that follow our North Brunswick Raiders coverage. We have the Linwood Invitational on Tuesday from North Brunswick Community Park. That is the next time I will be on the air. That's a doubleheader with the Linwood Middle School guys. So until then, this is Corbett Thompson saying goodbye, Godspeed. We thank you for listening to this edition of the 2019 Greater Middlesex Conference Baseball Tournament Championship. And again, your final score, Old Bridge 2 and Old Bridge 2, I almost said East Brunswick. Old Bridge 2, South Brunswick 1. My thanks to Matt Baker for stopping by. Until later, you folks, have a good night.